Okay, so some of you out there, we're just going to get into a topic about how to make your neighbors move. I don't feel like they quite gave the best advice in this article right here. So, this person said they live in a small subdivision. The lots here are not huge, but under 1 acre. When we moved here, everyone's house was nicely kept. We thought we finally found a subdivision where all the houses were nice. Lawns were mowed, no clutter. After we moved in, the house next to us was sold. At first, all was good, and then it started. One camper, two campers, one boat, two boats, one utility trailer, two utility trailers, smokers, children's play sets, and all in front of the yard. They have two dogs that bark a lot. They also leave the overflowing trash cans out by the street, which smell and attract animals. There's a cooler out in the trash now with flies all around it, probably with something dead in it. It stinks bad. This is the only house in the subdivision like this, and almost everyone would like to see them gone. Any ideas on how to make this happen? Next person said bad neighbors suck. Really nothing you could do if they aren't breaking any ordinances. You could report the barking dogs to animal control if they are barking non-stop for hours. Good luck, not a fun situation to be in. Next person said go over there and tell them to not be dang slobs and clean their crap up or else. Next person said we moved to a subdivision without an HOA, and let me tell you about some of the yards here. I often ask myself, do these people not take even a little pride in their property? New neighbors moved in across from us, and maybe once a month they will take one of the trash bins off the street and mow the lawn. It drives me bonkers. But you know what? They don't make any rackets very easygoing or no barking dogs and otherwise keep to themselves. I call it a win-win because there could always be so much worse than them living here. Next person said, sounds like you hit the trifecta with that neighbor. Time to check your ordinances and see if there are any enforcement. Also, if you have an HOA and it is enforced, good luck. Unfortunately, in many cases, you will be the one moving as they don't see it as a problem. That's true. You will be the one moving. You see that little fox? He's back there. He's relaxing. I would first check out your town's ordinances. For all the vehicles on the property, are they all registered with current license plates? Most towns will not allow unregistered vehicles on the property. But first, I would talk to them and express your concern to them about the property value, etc. The town or county may have laws against trash/garbage, but because of health concerns with rats among other critters. Good luck, and remember, no one is stopping you from moving away from the neighbors from hell. Another person said, talk to them in person. I prefer it this way. Get with some neighbors and talk to them. Put an anonymous letter in their mailbox. I like that idea. You have a few choices, but I really don't think any of them will do any good because they are who they are. Here's a few ways to tell them how you feel. Then that was when they said gather other neighbors and get together and talk to them. There is a TV series called Fear Thy Neighbor. Watch a few of those before you follow any of the radical advice that has surely come from some of our experts here in the lounge. Pool your money with the rest of the neighborhood and buy them out. That's the only way to fix it. Then they said they will probably laugh in your face. The only way that will be sure to work is either you move or most of the neighbors complain. Then they said, tell them you chew tobacco and aren't afraid to... Oh, crap. Seriously, is that an issue that other neighbors have commented on? If so, perhaps there's a way to fix the problem, short and long term. Okay, let's see what I'm skimming through. They didn't have any good advice. Your first step would be to send an anonymous letter in the mailbox. You do not want to create animosity if you can help it. See if changes are made on their end, and after the letter, if not, break out the big guns and tell them exactly how you feel. It's off your chest, and now it's time to formulate your game plan as to how to piss them off the worst. Hopefully you'll win the war, not just the battle. It's a risky deal moving into a neighborhood full of people. When we first moved to Texas, next door lived a SWAT team member. I guess he thought that he owned our house too. Would just walk in back door into the kitchen when the garage was open. That's cocky mentality. Him and I fought like 4 kids for 3 years until he moved. I was never so thankful. Now I have 0 neighbors next to me, and I like it a lot. Sounds like a lot of people's neighbors are causing a lot of issues. Okay, so they said ordinance violations is probably a good place to start. Sounds like they are in violation of several already. The town will help you get some of their issues under control. And then they said they're going to screw you if you try and sell. It'll take a like-kind person or family to buy your place because most don't want to live by those type of people. Okay, a friend of mine's had a crappy neighbor like that, maybe worse. The neighbor would constantly be delinquent on his utility bill. The power company would shut off his electricity. He would sneak an extension cord over to my friend's back porch while he was at work, and he stole fishing tackle out of the friend's garage. Was on camera, and the police caught him red-handed, etc. It went on. My buddy was always calling the cops on him, etc. One night, the neighbor got revenge. My buddy was sound asleep, awake in the wee hours of the morning by the sound of his front door crashing in. He jumped out of bed and turned the corner. As a team of officers in tactical gear coming down the hall towards him after he gets cuffed and stuffed, the officers finally explain the charge. The crappy neighbors called the cops and retorted that my buddy pointed a handgun at them. He did not, but the burden was on him to prove his innocence at that point. He finally got charges dropped, but it took nearly a year and that he was the one that moved. Okay, let's see if there's something else they can tell you. If they are renters, call the landlord. Fences make for good neighbors, so they recommend you get a really high fence. Okay. I'm trying to skim through. Yeah, I don't think some of these people, their advice is really crappy. I'm skimming through it. So one person said the town or city should have some laws about items in the front yard. If it doesn't, I start to try and change that. Change the law. Okay. Well, It says buy them out. Also, nothing is stopping you from moving either. They have the same right to live as they please, just as you do. May not agree with their cleanliness, but it is their property. Okay. It says the way to get a neighbor to move, it is to bring in trailers, boats, campers, etc. Another person said they do all their yard work in a Speedo. So that's their solution. I'm saying if they have any other solutions. So they said at about 4:30 or 5:30 a.m., crank your motorboat 3 to 4 days a week in the driveway and all your neighbors will move. Okay, what a long story. Okay, so several years ago, I built the house I'm in and took the neighbors on all sides cookies for Christmas in order to get to know them. And as time went by, both neighbors on each side seemed to be having a contest on who could have the trashiest house. Though the one on the far side I don't really see when I returned home once I helped him put up a fence. A few years ago I was thinking of selling my place, and with the neighbors on that other side of the first trashy neighbor already having a sign up in his yard, I stopped by to speak with him. He told me he had approached the neighbor between us about cleaning up his place and was told to get off his property, which he told me I'd be wasting my time if I approached him, so I filed an anonymous complaint with the county, who knocked on his door a few days later and were told they were trespassing. Okay, so they sent him a registered letter. Months later, it got cleaned up a little. Still cars on block. Okay. After several months on the market, that was hot at the time, I got several offers. $75,000 and $85,000 below market value, which the agent told me I could thank the neighbors. That's when you wonder if no HOA is worth it. I put up a fence where at least I didn't have to look at it each day. I don't get why folks don't take more pride in their place when, after all, it would take be a half-day Saturday to make it look better, increase the value of their property and everyone else's. I don't know either. Okay, so it looks like that is all the advice that they have on how to get rid of your neighbors. My advice is to let them know that you really don't care for them as a neighbor. And let's hope that that is enough to convince them to move. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe.